You'll never guess what time it is. Mainly because I just remembered I haven't announced it on the server yet. Give me but a moment. There we go. Okay, now it's been announced. Now we're good, G. Thriving. Anyway, you'll be surprised to know that it's time for even more Yuri. Because, I don't know if you can tell, I'm a massive lesbian. And what's better than two girls? Anyway, where were we? She's met her girl has met her night waifu. Just in the forest somewhere. Now. Leofei, where are you, Leofei? Ah! I turn, extricating my fingers from my companions, and come face to face with a new threat. It's this prick again. It's the knight who accosted me by the lakeside. He's come back! He arrived so suddenly without any telltale footsteps. I have to wonder if he was magic out of thin air. Exactly. He didn't do a textbook twig snapping. It's in like the code that you have to do like a twigs. You have to step on a twig when you're tailing someone, so they know you're there. Maybe the first time today that I've seen things appear disappear when they shouldn't. This forest doesn't obey the laws of physics, as we've established. Objects which should remain corporeal can vanish without a moment's hesitation, and humans can tumble through cracks of reality itself. This is all so strange. I'm starting to wonder what's real and what isn't. It feels like a dream. How long are we going to spend on this? The forest is magic, we get it. Get your head in the game, Marnie, please. My ankle still aches and I'm covered in bruises, and I know it isn't. This avenging knight tried to kill me once, but he was unable to fulfill his goal. Has he come back to finish the job? That night, I take a trembling step back, my leg struggling to support my weight. He chased me. He said he was looking for Leofei, and then... But you... That's your name, isn't it? Indeed it is. Then, was he looking... He was looking for you? I would not be surprised. After all, he is my own dear brother. Well, your brother has some whack-ass fashion sense. I glance between the knight and Leofei, my eyes darting back and forth within their sockets. I can't see any family resemblance. Really now. But then again, I can't see the knight's face. I can only see the bare slither in his eyes peeking out from his helmet. You know him? I used to know him, but he does not seem to be the brother I once was in life. Oh fuck you. Edmund? Is that pronounced Edmund? Let's find out. I swear to God, it's Edmund.
Pronouncenames.com.
Okay, come on, get on with it.
Edmund?
Okay, it is Edmund. Why is Edmund spelled like that? I'm not sure how you'd spell it, but I don't think you should be spelled like that. My dear Edmund. My poor, foolish brother. I suppose I could consider myself fortunate that I can reunite with him after all these years. He doesn't seem to be himself. Girl, you're taking this far too well. What's wrong with you? Must be under some kind of enchantment. He never would have attacked you otherwise, Lady Marnie. I apologize on his behalf, and I shall try to talk him round. I only hope my voice can penetrate through the fog. Leofei stands before Edmund until the two long-lost siblings are face to face. She looks at him imploringly, one hand pressed against her chest, and says, "Edmund, please, listen to me. Do you recognize me?" The knight, or Edmund, I suppose his name is, looks Leofi up and down. His helmet winks beneath the green sunlight, his movements slow and heavy as he considers. "Leofi?" "Yes, I am your sister. Do you not remember me?" "You were forever chastising me when we were younger. You said being a knight was no profession for a woman, but I never listened to you. He's sexist." This is one character trait. His two character traits are attacking Marnie and being sexist. I love that for him. "I was a very naughty, ill-behaved sister. I caused you a lot of grief. I won't apologize for my actions, for I still believe I was right. But I hope you can forgive me for worrying you so." Edmund surveys Leofi silently. Must have been centuries since these siblings last saw one another, but there is no joyous cries, tearful eyes, or tender embraces. Yeah, you two were handling this far too well. What's wrong with you? The atmosphere in the forest seems to plummet 5 degrees. Even the birds nested among the trees stop singing. The tall, uncut grass sways at my feet. In the wind, I swear I can hear faint voices whispering. "Be wary, weary traveler. All is not as it seems. Clearly, do not be too quick to trust. But nothing in this forest is as it seems. Everything is upside down and topsy-turvy, and Leofi is the only thing I have to cling to. She's the only one I can rely on. Edmund might be her brother, but he acts as no brother should. Instead, he regards Leofi with stony suspicion, his fingers resting upon the hilt of his sword. Have we not established the forest's been fucking with him for like hundreds of years with images of his sister? I feel like it's not a stretch to think he wouldn't trust her. No. "Yes, Edmund, do you not recognize me? I am your sister." "No, you are not. You are not my Leofi." "But I am, I swear it, on our mother's life." "You know nothing of my mother. She is already dead, and so soon will you be. I will not fall for the same trick twice. I was never known for my smarts, but I am not stupid. Now you will pay the price of your pretenance. I will tear apart anybody who takes my sister's name in vain." But I'm not, Edmund. Please." But Edmund does not listen. He's so deeply entrenched in his own madness, Leofi's words can no longer reach him. Was this a surprise? Did we not establish this already? He draws his sword and dashes forth, ready to deal a decisive blow upon his own sister. "Leofi, do not worry so, my lady. I can handle this much. Leofi dances around her brother's blade. His sword rends the air, leaving Leofi herself unscathed. She's a lot more nimble than I imagined. Her every step feels light and graceful like a dancer's. Though she's only been awake for half an hour, she easily runs rings around her brother. "Alas, my poor brother, you were too slow. You could never best me when we sparred as children. It should be the same here too." Holy shit! The CG goes hard. Leofi's fingers reach for her own blade. Though she banished it once before, it appears anew in her hands, emerged from from ether in a burst of bright light. Edmund raises his sword to strike another blow, but Leofi parries it expertly. Their blades clash, steel against steel, ringing through the forest. So you have stolen not only her name, but her sword. What else of hers have you taken, foul monster? I shall retrieve it from you by force." "I have stolen nothing. This sword is truly mine, just as you are truly my brother." "It cannot be true. Stop filling my head with your lies." Evan strikes again and again, but his movements are slow and ponderous compared to Leofi's. He can't hope to match her. Leofi, meanwhile, almost seems to be enjoying their bout. "Oh, it does feel good to move my body again." Leofi dances expertly around her brother, weaving and ducking between his thrusts. Edmund is moving more quickly now, but what he gains in speed he trades for accuracy. His strikes are frenzied, but they fail to land. Leofi jumps back, avoiding his sword, and thrusts like a dancer. Her blade clangs against Edmund, and as Edmund staggers winded. Your skills have left. Your skills still leave much to be desired. You'll be older than I am, but I have more. But I have more determination. Undertale reference? Holy shit! Sam Undertale. I'll claim this victory just as I bested you all those years ago, when we were still young. Cease your pertinence, you foul witch. We will never spend time together. How dare you steal the memories I shared with my sister? Edmund lunges forth, but his movements are wild and sloppy. Leofy parries a strike with ease. Swords clash, sparks fly. Leofy is smaller than Edmund, but he can't push her back. The heels of her shoes are wedged firmly against the ground, and her eyes are narrowed with resolve. Edmund, please, I'm telling you the truth. Why can't you see who I am? Why will you not open your eyes? Enough! I cannot keep listening to this. You are trying to poison my mind. Edmund draws back, his sword in hand, and surveys his sister. Is he searching for an opening, perhaps? His determination hasn't wavered, despite being unable to land a single blow. He really does mean to kill Leofy, but why? Why did she do so? What did she do? She told me that I would face challenges upon my quest. But I must cut them down in order to reclaim my sister. You must be one of those trials sent to test me. She? What are you talking about, my dear brother? Under whose influence have you fallen? That I cannot say. I will not say. I will not engage in pleasantries of an impostor who has stolen my sister's name. For fuck's sake, bro. Edmund charges anew, but Leofy deflects his strikes. Leofy's chest is now beginning to rise and fall, her breasts sound ragged and worn. Looks like she's flagging, but continues to parry her brother's blows. If it were not for the cool wind upon my face nor the grass brushing against my ankles, I'd almost think this was a scene from a movie. It's like a young girl who dreams of being a knight single-handedly besting an armed warrior in vicious combat. It really is incredible, but I know if Leofy makes a single misstep, her life will be on the line, as well as mine. If Edmund kills her, he's soon coming after me, and I don't have any means of defending myself. I'm the weak link in Leofy's otherwise impenetrable defenses, and I think Edmund knows that too. Very well. If you insist on fighting back, I shall reply in turn. I will end your miserable life and that of your companion too. She escaped from me once, but not again. I won't let any of you monsters get the better of me. My companion? You don't mean... No, Edmund, wait! But Edmund does not wait. He's no longer glaring at Leofy, his sword raised with the intent to kill. Instead his eyes, obscured in the shadow of his helmet, are fixated upon. Die, vile monster! No! I duck, holding my hand against my ears, as though this might somehow protect me. Though I know, of course, it is useless. I'm no knight, unlike Leofy. I'm just Marnie Lennox, an ordinary girl who can barely jog one length around my school without collapsing. She's literally just like me for real. I thought I was ordinary at least. But it looks like my death will be the stuff of fairy tales. I'll be run from top to bottom by a knight, deep in an enchanted forest where pixies and spirits dwell. It sounds almost romantic. I bet there's a whole bunch of airy fairy poems written about that exact concept. As far as death goes, it's kind of aesthetic. I could get behind it, but the finishing blow never comes. Instead... Ah! I hear a sharp gasp of pain above my head, and a few drops of moisture beat up my neck. Oh shit! The way she's dead already, fuck you. I look up, eyes wide, staring. Leofy is standing before me, sword in hand, her face is chalky white, and her brows twisted with consternation. While she holds her sword tightly in her hands, there's no blood upon her blade. Instead, rivulets of crimson blood trickle down her right arm. It leaks in her shoulder and grouts, straining her fingers like bad Halloween makeup. She jumped between me and Edmund just in time, but she wasn't able to parry his blow with her sword. Instead, she took the fatal blow with her own body. She used herself to shield me, and her shoulders been cut clean open. Leofy, are you alright? I am fine. Luffy winces, a faint sheen of sweat beading on her forehead. It is nothing fatal, just a scratch, really. I have suffered wounds far, far worse. There's nothing near enough to bring me down. But you're bleeding. I know, but in a way, I'm almost glad for it. Spilling blood for the sake of a fair maiden is an honor for any knight. And at least let me know I really am alive. I was asleep for a long, long time, but no more. You make me my brother Edmund. Well, I'll make you rue the day you turned your blade on my lady. This is the coward's gambit, and for that you will pay the price. Luffy charges forward. She parries another of Edmund's incoming blows, and then another, and another. The wound in her right shoulder is gaping open, but she doesn't relent. Instead, she continues driving forward relentlessly. She's enraged, incensed. She looks utterly captivated. Well, I suppose that could have gone better. Luffy sighs as she gingerly presses her fingers against her shoulder. The wound is a deep one. It gapes open, revealing soft, red flesh like the inside of a pomegranate. Gross. Despite her injuries, Luffy was eventually able to drive off Edmund. Perhaps knowing this fight could not be won, Luffy's blade sheared right through his stomach. Then he disappeared. Wait, what? Perhaps knowing this was a fight he could not win. Luffy's blade sheared right through his stomach. Then he disappeared. Following Edmund's less than honorable retreat, Luffy collapsed on a nearby tree trunk to tend to her wounds. And that more or less sums up the last frantic 5 minutes. I'll be real, okay, I loved Strawberry Vinegar. It was adorable, fluffy slice of life. But at the same time, this is way more exciting. Sure, I haven't played many visual novels with combat in it, mainly because I read a lot of sappy slice of life, like romance stuff. But this is a nice change of pace. I'm getting behind this. Anyway, I'd hoped I'd be able to show you my skills as a knight too. It's most unseemly, allowing oneself to be run through like a fish. I didn't know you were so unseemly. I don't think you were unseemly. That's very kind of you, my lady. But you need not fuss over my feelings so. I am a knight and I can handle your criticisms. Okay, unrelated note, right? But Marnie is nowhere near an elegant enough name to have my lady put in front of it. Like, I can get behind that stuff, but I just think that Marnie is very much not a name that fits that. Lady Marnie, it just doesn't, I don't know. It feels like such a blocky word, you know, like a... Marnie. It's like a really, it feels like a harsh name. It just doesn't fit like the elegant vibe of my lady. You know? I could have deflected that blow if I had only been more careful. But when I saw him ready to attack you, I was unable to think. I was afraid you were going to get hurt. That's nice of you, but you hardly know me. Would you really be willing to risk your life for my sake? That is what I said, is it not? As a knight, it is part of my duties. I can feel my cheeks burning pink. Aww. I've never heard anybody say they'd die for me before, let alone a person I've known for a bit of an hour. I'm gonna be real, I said this last time, say it again, I would be swimming. Like, I would die for you, my lady. That's like... Whew, Christ. That's like up there in terms of romance. I would fucking faint. That would take me the fuck out. I would be so real with you guys. It's kind of flattering, I guess. There's something pretty intense. There's something pretty intense about it. Aren't we basically strangers? Ah, my clothes are in ruins. They are quite ruined. Yeah, you said that. One could say they've been ruined. Should you really be worrying about your clothes right now? You're covered in wounds. Oh, I can take care of that. Luffy sounds awfully confident, but I'm not so sure. I don't know much about the state of the healthcare system back in the medieval era. From what little I gleaned in my primary school history lessons, it wasn't all that great. You're not telling me you're a qualified doctor, are you? No, I am not. But I trust that the fairies in this forest shall protect me as they always have, see? Luffy presses her fingertips against the wound. I watch, mouth agape, as her split skin slowly begins to mend itself before my very eyes. Maybe this girl is a fairy. The flow of blood stems and her flesh knits itself back together, like one of Granny Nat's old scars. What in the... I know it's pointless to ask, but... How did you do that? Magic. Of course, right, it's magic. I mean, why wouldn't it be? I think I can feel the beginning of a headache. I think I need to sit down. Oh dear, you're not suffering from sunstroke, are you, my lady? Your skin is awfully pale, and it's quite a hot day. You should be careful, else you will start to blister. Don't fuss about me. You're the one who's hurt. I'm not usually so shy. When you're short like I am, you need to be scrappy. People walk over you. But when I'm with Leofi, no, she's got a crush already. I don't know. It's hard to know how I should act. That's just how you get around cute girls. Like, I'm ever real. The moment I'm around a cute girl, I immediately I immediately start hyperanalyzing how I'm acting, and I forget everything I've ever known. I'm like, wait, shit, how the fuck do I walk again? Oh god. You know what I mean? I lose all social skills. Maybe it's because she's like unlike anybody I've ever met before. She's kind of off-putting. Does your shoulder still hurt? The wound is closed, so it should stop bleeding, but I fear I will need some time to recover. Well, I can still hold a sword. It would be unfortunate if I were to run into yet more enemies. I never imagined my own brother would try to kill me now. He must be under the influence of a wicked spell. This is the only explanation for this insanity. I'd like to counter that. This deep into the forest, rationality doesn't exist. But Leofi's melancholy musings stir a memory inside my chest. I heard a voice myself as I was walking through the forest. I wasn't able to identify the speaker, I never had the chance, but it was soft and lifting. I think it belonged to a woman. The speaker's unusual accent sounded quite like Leofi's own, as a matter of fact. Were they the ones who enchanted Edmund? Well, there's no sense in sitting here any longer. Luffy gets to her feet, her fatigue seemingly forgotten, and a smile at me. Would you care to escort me out of these woods, my lady? Sorry, would you care for me to escort you out of these woods, my lady? Our progress was impeded, but we shall be able to resume our journey. That's all very well and good, but... I look at Leofi skeptically. Is there any other way to examine a knight from a bygone era? My arms folded. What are you going to do, Leofi? I need to be back to my grandma's house, but you don't have anywhere to go, do you? Oh yes, I suppose you're correct. If this really is the 21st century, then I have no surviving family here, except for Edmund, of course, and he... is not in his right frame of mind. I'll have to rescue him, but I cannot do that at present. First, I need to find a suitable dwelling where I may rest. Then in that case, I nudge a hooked tree root just the tip of my trainer. I feel I'm going to regret this later down the line, but... why don't you come stay with me? Oh, we just got home just like that? Just wander out. Yeah, take a left, walk forward for a couple seconds, and you're right back. Just gonna... okay. I guess we're back in, whatever the place is called. I'm sure it'll come up in a few seconds. My goodness, this is incredible! I know you said the settlement about the forest had changed somewhat. I never imagined in all my days that it would be like this. Lift looks around the drab, highly uninteresting Fen Chapel. That's what it's called. Highly uninteresting Fen Chapel street, wide eyes, desperate to drink in every detail. But there are all that many details to take in. Fenchapel's a pretty small town. It's comprised of a few grey roads, several fields, a dilapidated train station, and a forest that holds far more secrets than first meets the eye. I suppose this street is the High Street, but it's hardly a bustling hub of activity. The establishments that line this road could be counted on one hand. There's a small, privately owned corner shop that sells newspapers and milk and penny sweets. And that's about it. There aren't any grocers or florists or pharmacies in sight. In clothes stores, you can try to forget about that. Whoever designed Fenchapel obviously decided clothes are for fancy city dwellers, and not born and bred Fenchapelians or Fenchapelites, I'm not sure. There's a primary school nearby too, a small red brick building with 2 symmetrical chimneys on either side. The school is fringed by a small playground, devoid of any playground equipment. There are no swings or slides here, only a few hopscotch patterns drawn on the ground in chalk, ridged by a fence. Can I even call it a playground then? That's just like a square bit of ground or something. I'm not sure you call it. That's not a fucking playground. Since it's summer holidays, the school playground is devoid of the children. A few trees are dotted here and there, and their leaves are rustling with summer wind. And that's about it. Fenchapel's a total ghost town. Village, rather. I was annoyed when people did like, actually, it's a village. Like, shut up. I'm pretty sure, legally in the UK, the only thing denoting something as a city is because the government's got it on a list of cities somewhere. Like, there's like stuff that like maybe, there's like some features that maybe make it a city, but realistically the only reason anything is a city around here is because it's on the city list. There's nothing here that's that's at all interesting, but these houses made of brick. How ingenious! They must work wonders at keeping the heat in during the winter months. And that building there with the wooden fence. Sylvie points to the primary school, with its old-fashioned chimneys and large, lightless windows. It is absolutely huge. It's really not that amazing. Oh, but it is. Somebody of great importance must live in that building. I'm sure of it. Could it perchance be owned by an important feudal lord? Or else the king of Bernicia? The king of Bernicia himself? No, it's just a skill. A skill? A place where small children learn how to read and write? Oh, such a building exists in this era? How marvelous. Tuition must be incredibly expensive though. I suppose only the elite are allowed to attend the so-called school. No, it's free. Everyone goes to school. Really? You're not trying to trick me, are you? No, why would I do that? Leofi seems confused, even enough as it is about modern customs. I hardly want to make things worse for her, the poor girl. Although she seems at all upset by how much the world has changed over the past centuries, again she's taking this weirdly well. She's staring at her surroundings like a tourist. But Fenchapel isn't like London. There's no historical monuments or high-rise buildings. Everything's flat and grey and dull. I'm a little perplexed about Leofi's excitement, but I guess to her every tiny village like Fenchapel must seem like a feat of modern engineering. Everybody has to go to school. You don't have a choice. If we try and bunk off... Bunk off? Skip school. If we do that, then we get in trouble. Headmaster of my school sent a very stern letter to my parents when I skived during school during sports day back in year 9. I don't know why I was so angry. It's not like I was missing anything important. Who cares about sports day? Why would you not want to go to this so-called school? I don't understand. We did not have such things in my time. Only the extremely wealthy has anything in the way of education. The rest of us had to live in our own ignorance, unable to rise up in the ranks. I'd have loved to learn to write my own name. but I was never given the chance. Well, I guess things must look a little different. Eeping. Well, I guess things must have looked a little different from your perspective. For as long as I can remember, I've regarded school as particularly cruel and unusual punishment, and therefore others might see it as an opportunity. I've been feeling pretty down since my dad dropped me off at Penn Chapel yesterday, but I guess I'm pretty lucky then, huh? Yes, indeed. To be born into an enlightened era like this, people live in brick houses and they're entitled to an education. I think it is incredible. I was never able to dream of such a haven when I was younger. The world has come to such a very long way. Luffy twirls about, laughing, her arms outstretched. Her fingers are extended outwards like a ballerina, her right hand smeared with droplets of her undried blood. A woman emerges from the nearby corner shop, clutching a brown paper bag to her chest. She turned, meaning to pass Leofei and I by the school. When she sees Leofei, she blanches and hurries by. But she's trying to avoid us. I can't say I blame her. Leofei does look quite the sight. Her wild eyes and splatter of blood staining her right sleeve. Hey Leofei? What is it, my lady? Could you, like, chill with your excitement for 5 seconds? We're getting some funny looks. I don't know if Leofei understands half of what I just said, but at least she has a good sense to look apologetic. She sees us spinning, her hair rumpled in her lap, and laughs bashfully. I apologize, my lady. I know my behavior is rather uncouth, but I cannot help myself. This might be commonplace for you, but it is all rather new to me. It is as though I have woken up in an entirely different world. I feel like the heroine of a mythic yarn. Right back at you. I sigh. And yawn, apparently. Well, you'll just have to get used to it. And I'll be twirling around like that when we're walking through the street. It isn't safe. You might veer into the road, and then you could get hit by a car. A car? Luffy looks at me uncomprehendingly. I groan. I should have known it'd be a whole other can of worms to open. Made my big mouth. Well, never mind that now. We need to hurry back to Grandma's house. Yes, my lady. I'm at your service. At least she's obedient. Let's press on. Grandma's house isn't too far away. Nothing's far away in Fen Chapel. This village is tiny. First, can you do something about your clothes? My clothes? Leofei looks down at her coarse green garb with some surprise. Is there a problem with them, my lady? They make you stand like a sore thumb. Your arm is covered in blood, for goodness sake. Can you magic yourself up a new outfit? Something that blends in a little better? I apologize for disappointing you, my lady, but I cannot comply with that request. Why not? If somebody else sees her covered in gouts of blood, they might think of violent murders taking place. I don't want anybody calling the police. Then Leofei will discover firsthand what happens to people who break the law. I do not precisely know, but my magic does not work like that. I can make my sword appear and disappear at will, for it has been enchanted by selves. But alas, I have no other clothes to change it. Wish me to wear something else. You want to procure the necessary items for me, my lady. Oh, I see. Of course. I mean, why would magic work the way I want it to? That'd be way too convenient. Am I supposed to introduce Leofei to Grandma now? So, Fanjava kind of reminds me of something. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. England map. Let's see if I can find where it was. I don't think it was too far. I'm not quite sure where it was. But I remember, like a year or two ago, going down to this tiny little English city for like a weekend. My mum and brother, and like it was just as it was not as bad as Fen Chapel, but it was still like tiny. Like you could walk one end of it to the other in like a minute, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. I don't know, just a little something it reminded me of. What about telling the Gran the truth as I walked back to her house? I'd even had something of a speech prepared. Hey Gran, you'll never guess what? I went into the woods and I crawled through a hollowed out tree in the secret clearing and I found a strange girl. She said her name's Leofi. She's a knight from like the 18th century. From like the 8th century. Can we keep her? Please, can we? She doesn't have anywhere else to go and she doesn't mean any harm. She's even house trained. No well-adjusted person would swallow a tall tale like that. My dad would take it as a joke. My mum would anxiously feel my forehead for temperature. But my gran just might. Yeah, she was talking about the fairies. She's old and susceptible enough. And she's already an ardent believer in fairies. When it comes to magic, a female knight displaced in time is almost benign. But in the end... So, Marnie, you said this girl was your friend? I feed Gran a tissue of lies instead. No lying is wrong, but in this case it's necessary. It's a necessity. Gran talks about magic often enough as it is. I don't want her relaying these wild tales to Moira when she comes back from her big shop next week. Or even worse, my parents. As long as my grandma sticks to speaking about vague, oblique magic like fairies and brownies. Brownies are magic? I mean, I guess some brownies are magic, but just beyond the point. She seems relatively harmless. But a fully fledged delusion like this might be taking things a step too far. Uncle Jim is concerned about Gran's mental faculties already. Shortly after Grandpa's death, he tried to take her into an old person's home, but Dad and Aunt Leda and Aunt Allison resisted. So she's talking about fairies, Jim. So what? She's not causing anybody any harm. Her beliefs are barmy, yes, but she isn't wandering the woods in her nightie trying to catch pixies in a net. Just let her be for now. If it gets any worse, we'll talk. But she's self-sufficient enough for now, and I think being in her own home will be good for her. It's all she has left to remind her of Dad. This saga has been going on for the past few months. Uncle Jim's desperate to get Gran taken away, mostly because he wants her house to himself, or so Dad says. I don't want to give my greedy, grasping Uncle more ammunition. That's why I decided to tell a little white lie regarding Leofi's true identity. I think it'll be easier for everyone that way. But unfortunately for me, Leofi doesn't make the most convincing 21st century schoolgirl. The moment Leofi steps foot in Grandma's house, Grandma's not so humble abode, she starts looking around with the eagerness of a child at a theme park. The grandfather clock in the entrance hall procured from her a soft gasp of delight as she did the painting on the wall. I was able to shepherd Leofi into the living room with some difficulties, but she seemed even more overwhelmed here than she was before. Mahogany bookshelves and the plush reclining chairs are a particular source of interest from my unusual guest, but nothing has commanded her attention more than the widescreen television. I wish her weird clothes aren't helping her case either. Though I did scrub the worst of the blood from her sleeves before introducing her to my grandmother. I just hope it's enough. Did you say her name was Leofi? That's right. My, what an unusual name. It's very pretty, though. It's nice to meet you, dear. How do you know my Marnie? Leofi doesn't reply. She's too busy staring at the television. I don't think I've ever seen somebody more fascinated by a blank monitor before. Leofi? Gran looks at me frowning. Is your friend alright? She's fine. She's just a little tired from the long journey. She came around the bus, and you know what buses around here are like. Oh yes, they stop at every single small village between here and Grimsby. And the roads are awful. You could rattle around like a bowling pin. It was good for Leofi to come here despite that. You must be good friends. Yeah, I guess so. Sokka can tell Gran I've only known her for a few hours. That'd make things way too complicated. Does she go to the same school as you? That's right. I was complaining to her about having to spend my summer here. She decided to pay me a visit, so I wouldn't be too bored. Isn't that right, Leofi? I nudge Leofi on the ribs with my elbow when she jumps. What? Oh, yes, indeed. That's all correct. I came to Fen Chapel so I could see Marnie, because we're such good friends. Ugh. Her delivery's so wooden, she might as well be reading off a script. Not only if you can read, she's never been to school unlike me, and she never had a chance to learn. But you get to do, like, the cutest thing. Teaching your love interest to read is like... It's a niche, but I think it's pretty romantic. In the right setting, anyway. I would say that in one of the D&D campaign I'm playing, because I decided that my character couldn't read, so her love interest got the teacher, and it was a very cute moment. She's also rotten at telling lies. Wonder if that's a side effect of being an honorable knight. Maybe trusting the truth goes against her chivalric code, whatever that is. Well, at least there's one thing I'm certain of. Despite her striking look, Leofi would makes an absolutely terrible actress. I had to pick her up from the bus station outside the corner shop. It was a bit delayed, and that's why it took a while to get back here. Sorry I didn't mention it sooner, it kinda slipped my mind. Oh, that's quite alright. I'm forever forgetting things myself. I hope you haven't inherited my patchy memory, Marnie. It can be quite the burden. Tell me about it. This Partridge always gets in my case when I forget the stupid foil method, like it matters. That cow had that in for me since day one. No. Gran's touch reproachfully. That's no way to talk about your teacher. I'm sure Mrs. Partridge only wants the best for you. Remember, I used to be a teacher myself. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you aren't too worried that I... Yawn. Anyway, I hope you weren't too worried that I took so long to get back. I was a bit concerned, yes, but I have faith in you. You're a clever girl, Marnie, and I knew you'd be safe. You would never be so foolish to venture too far into the forest, particularly after all my warnings. Yeah, right. I have so much misplaced faith in me. Pretty much all the adults in my life, Miss Partridge being chief among them, think I'm a colossal screw-up. My mother's forever forgetting on my case, and my teachers all make snarky remarks when I conveniently forgot my homework on my PE kit. I'm not used to adults genuinely believing in me. If only my grandma knew the truth. Would you be so quick to trust me then? Well, it's certainly kind of you to venture out here during your summer holiday, Leofi. Though I have little to keep you amused. There isn't much for young'uns to do in these parts, I'm afraid. There aren't any shops or cinemas, I'm afraid you'll find it dreadfully dull here. Are you sure you won't get bored? I'm very doubtful I could ever be bored even if I tried. I've only explored this fine settled... I take Leofi in the roast my elbow. Was that serendipitous enough? At least it seems I've gotten the point across. I mean, village for a short while, but it's quite commendable. Need not worry about me. I am certain I will find no shortage of things to do here. Well, that's reassuring. But I fear you're being too kind. I'm fond of this place as well. I'm fond of this place myself, but I know it can't hold a patch on Grimsby, or even Cleeforpus? Where's that? You haven't heard of it? Hurry to interject before Leofi can make her ignorance even more apparent. Leofi goes to my school, but she's not from Grimsby. She lives in what's a substantially tiny out-of-the-way village Leofi might not know. I have a pretty thorough knowledge of all towns and villages in Grimsby since I always help my dad navigate when he's traveling. Or an alphabetical list of suitable settlements in my head, pondering before I settle on Falstow. Now let's play the game. Is that a real place? Falstow, England. Yeah, it's real. Falstow, is it? That's even smaller than Fenchapel. I know, right? Leofi's always telling me there's nothing there. It was even impressed that Fenchapel had a school. Can you credit it? Her parents are kind of protective, so she doesn't get a chance to go out much either. Anyway, can Leofi stay with us? She came all this way to see me, and your house is huge. She can have one of the spare bedrooms, there's loads of them. Well, I suppose having another guest made things a little less lonely. You wouldn't believe it now, but this place used to be so lively once upon a time. I had 5 children, and though herding them off to school every morning was stressful, it was also very rewarding. I felt like those times would always last. But then my children grew up, moved out, and they had children of their own. It was just Frank and I for a while, but he passed away last winter, and this big house has never felt emptier. I suppose that's what happens when you get older, but Grant shakes her head, her pale eyes rehemi with reminiscence. Well, never mind that now. I don't want to put your friend off. There's nothing more intolerable than a silly old woman who can't stop harping about the good old days. On the contrary, my good woman, I find your stories most interesting. I am of the opinion people should learn from their elders and betters, for they have experienced things we have not. This is the only way we can better ourselves. Why, if this were the 8th century, you would be respected for your advanced views. People would come from miles around to hear your words of wisdom. Is that so? Yes, indeed. I have a vested interest in the 18th century, and I know these things. Well, I do quite fancy being a druid. My children, bless their hearts, don't take the ramblings of their old mother seriously. Or neither does my lovely Marnie, though she nods her head and pretends to act interested. They all think I'm mad when I start waffling on, not that I can blame them. The times have changed. They certainly have. They haven't changed more than I ever imagined they could. What do you mean by that, dear? Oh, don't pay Leofi any mind. She's really into history, so she always talks like this. Isn't that right, Leofi? Yes, indeed, history is one of my passions. Then I'd be more than happy to welcome you into my home. I'm a piece of history myself. I'd be only happy to share my stories with you. That sounds wonderful. I would love to converse more with residents of this era. Your era, you mean? Luffy's pretty far into World War II. Huh? Luffy stares at me. I know the words "What World War" are hanging on her lips, so I hasten to hurry the conversation along. So, Leofi can stay here, is that alright? That's quite fine by me. I'd be glad for her company, though I can't imagine she'd want to spend too much time with me. We 2 girls should enjoy yourselves. You only get to experience your youth once. Don't let me hold you back. There's precious little to do. The church is very pretty, and there's a small library. There's a forest too, but I'd warn you not to venture too far. Strange creatures lurk in the forest, my darling. And if they catch you, they'll never let you go. For once I don't shake my head and roll my eyes at Grandma's apocryphals warnings. How could I? You've been right this whole time. The forest is enchanted. And I'm sure I've only witnessed a small sliver of what it has to offer. So, what do you think? This house? Oh, it's simply amazing! Lily twirls about in the kitchen, her fingers clasped together at her front, like Maria from The Sound of Music. Just need to replace this backdrop with the sprawling Austrian Alps, and you'd have an almost perfect shot-for-shot rendition of the movie. Speaking of which, I've never actually seen The Sound of Music all the way through to the end, to my mother's charring. It's way too boring, and I have better things to do with my time. Hold on a sec, I don't know. Maybe good. I can hardly believe your grandmother lives in this house on her own. Why, it's large enough to accommodate 10 whole families. My grandma did have a family, but the sons and daughters are all grown up now, and her husband's dead. Oh yes, your grandmother did mention that. The excitement must have gone to my head. I apologize, I was not thinking. Luffy pauses her exuberant twirling, her expression subtly suitably contrite as she glances around the kitchen. There's an old sepia-tinted photograph hanging on the wall of my grandparents from 40 years ago. They look young and happy. My grandma with her chiffon hat and pearl earrings, my grandfather with his slicked back hair and buttoned up shirt. My grandparents are posing on their sprawling lawn in front of the lake with their 5 children, Uncle Jim and Allison, Uncle Stephen, Aunt Leda, and my dad, with bruised knees and a bright grin. I've always been fascinated with that photo. It's strange to see my grandparents looking so young, with only a few wrinkles about their eyes and mouths. What is this, Marnie? Is it a portrait? I guess it's kind of a portrait, yes. It's easier to go along with that explanation, than explaining what photographs are, particularly when I'm not entirely sure how they work myself. What am I, Google? I don't think so. For a portrait, it looks incredibly lifelike. The painter must have been a very keen eye. And her the people within the frame look somewhat familiar. That woman. Luffy peers at my gran. She's posed by my grandpa's side, an arm wrapped protectively around her waist. Is she your grandmother? That's Grandma Iris, yes, and Grandpa Frank's next to her. I think you'd have liked Frank if you could have met him. Everyone did, and he was a nice man. They like going on walks in the forest too. You know which mushrooms were edible and which weren't. You could tell the birds apart by sounds of their cries. He sounded like a fine man indeed, and so does his family. Look very happy together. I'm sure they were. His family's quite a large one too. Yeah, no, right? I thought my family was big. 5 children. To be fair, I'm pretty sure my grand's mum and dad had like I'm pretty sure both. Pretty sure 2. Hold on. I'm pretty sure at least one of my grand's mum and dad had like 5 children. So to be fair, I'm pretty sure like a generation ago my family was that big. Really? Our family's even bigger than this back in your day. They were, if the mother could survive the train of childbirth. Of course, Brett husbands often took one or two more wives after their first had died. There's some families of up to 10 or 11, maybe 12 children. But I only ever had my brother Edmund. Our family was unusually small, and the 2 of us were very close. I thought we were, at least, but... Luffy sighs and shakes her head. I doubt we ever smiled as much as your grandmother's family did. They all look so carefree. Well, it was a different time. And yet, no matter what age it is, people still get old and die. This house must have been filled with happiness once. Now it feels rather sad. A large house like this is certainly impressive, but it does feel somewhat cold. Not that I wish to judge your grandmother's abode. Apologize if I said anything uncouth. It's fine. I'm not upset. In fact, I agree with you. It seems a little funny that Leofi should be concerned with manners, given she speaks with an oddly intense kind of politeness. I don't think she could upset anybody, even if she wanted to. Anyway, now that you've met my grandma, I think you should probably have a bath. Oh, yes, you're quite right. I did get rather dirty during my skirmish. Dirty is one way of phrasing it. I managed to clean most of the blood off her clothes, but I bet her arms are still dripping with it. Is there a place I may bathe nearby? Perhaps a lake or a small stream? Well, there's a lake in the garden, but... Wonderful! Then I should go there post-haste. Wait. I grab hold of Leofi's shoulder before she can storm off. I may have been able to explain Leofi's more prominent quirks to my grandma, but skinny dipping in the lake would be taking it way too far. There'd be no coming back from that social faux pas. This is the 21st century, remember? You don't have to clean yourself in a lake. In fact, that's largely frowned upon. Then how else am I supposed to get clean? I don't understand. You don't need to understand, just come with me. We need to go upstairs. Upstairs? My lady, how could there be a large body of water upstairs? The ceiling does not look nearly deep enough to accommodate such a thing. Oh, you'd be surprised. Then, are you saying... Luffy's eyes sparkle with childish excitement. Is there a manner to clean oneself using magic? You don't know the half of it. Prepare to be amazed. The wonders of a bath. How incredible! The water just appearing from thin air. It looks so clean and pure, just like glass. Could it be? Luffy reaches her hand out. Her left hand curled around the side of the bathtub. She brushes the stream of water with her fingertips and then... Oh! She gasps, either surprise or delight. It's hard to tell. She draws back amazed. It feels just as real as any water. It is warm, too. Could it be some kind of enchantment? Nah, it's nothing that fantastical. Just a miracle of modern plumbing. Plumbing? Luffy's brow furls. What is that, and how does that work? Please, tell me. With nary a warning, Luffy reaches out and entwines my fingers between her own. Fingertips of her hands are a little damp from the bath water. A few loose droplets trickle down my digits. I wish to learn as much about this era and its wonderful adventures as I can. It is only now I realize how truly ignorant I am. But I'll persevere. I'll do my utmost to understand how the so-called plumbing works. Well, about that. I'll answer away shyly. Why I'm so retiring around this girl. Why am I so retiring around this girl? My cheeks tingle pale pink. Luffy stands so close to me, our noses are only inches apart. I can feel her breath in my cheeks and my pale skin prickles. Does she have no concept of personal space? Perhaps that was invented back in the 8th century, just like schools, photographs, and running water. I could try to explain it, but I don't really understand it. If you want to know how it works, you could always Google it. Google? What is that? It's a search engine. You ask it questions and it can give you answers. Most of the time, at least. Then it's a so-called Google sensitive wise druid, or maybe an oracle. I guess you could say that, yeah. Let's not get into discussions about the whole World Wide Web right now. I don't even understand how Wi-Fi works and use the internet practically every day. That's a good point, actually. I don't know how Wi-Fi works either, and I kind of want to know. Is there a short answer? Wi-Fi transmits data using radio waves. Device's wireless adapter converts data into a radio signal into an internet via an antenna. This process works both ways. The router also takes in data from the internet, converts it into a radio signal, and sends it back to the device to be decoded. Well, now we know. We've consulted the great oracle Google. I mean, I kind of know how the internet works. I was looking that up the other day, and it's really fascinating, actually. Like, most... you know how, like, companies can have little baby networks where all their little computers can talk to each other. There's just like a big room with a bunch of hard drives where all their data is stored. And, like, all the different computers can pull from that and from each other. The internet's like that, just really big. And every web page ever on the internet is just in a data center, like a big box of hard drive somewhere. And I think that's wild. Like, if you're watching this right now, you're probably either watching on a Twitch VOD or on a YouTube video. And either way, that's held that it's being stored in a hard drive somewhere in a data center somewhere. And I think that's wild. If Leofi's gushing poetic about the wonders of running water, wait until she learns about Amazon, Twitter, and Facebook. We've got to keep her away from Twitter and Facebook. She's not ready. Eventually have a heart attack. Speaking of heart attacks, you're standing a bit too close. Oh yes, my apologies. Leofi draws back, smiling bashfully as he does so. These two are so cute. I don't mean to make you uncomfortable, my lady. Please forgive me for my gross breach of conduct. I was so overwhelmed. I quite forgot my manners. But, oh, this air is truly wonderful. I am surrounded by so many incredible things. Makes me wonder how I was able to live without all these conveniences. Leofi takes a seat at the side of the bathtub, which is slowly filling with water. The water drums inside of the tub, and a faint sheen of mist settles upon the brass taps and the tiles. The mirror above the sink starts to fog over, and maybe I think vaguely the water is just a little too hot. I don't want Leofi scolding herself when she finally climbs into the tub. I should know much about this world as much about this world as possible, so that I may assimilate. I have no desire to cause you any grief. I know it must seem woefully anachronistic to you. These are all new experiences for me, and it's hard for me to react appropriately. I'm doing my best to behave as a knight should, yet it's also very much to take in. I'm not bothering you, am I, my lady? No, you're no bother. If anything, I think Leofi's kinda cute when she waxes poetic about all the simple things to take for granted. But catch me saying that out loud in a hurry. I wouldn't want her getting a swollen head. It's not like her cuteness completely offsets her annoyingness. Now, do you think you'll be alright in the bath on your own? What? Leofi stares at me. Are you not going to bathe with me, my dear lady? What? No. Of course I don't want to bathe with you. It's out of the question. What? But why? Ugh. Does she truly understand why I'm so opposed to her modest proposal, or is she trying to play some kind of joke on me? Leofi doesn't seem like the kind of girl who's finds pleasure in flustering other people, so I guess I'll have to go with her option A. She really is pure. Either that or I'm a fool. Can't bathe with you, that's not how things are done in this era. It isn't? No. I thought to see why not. We are both women. There should be no cause for scandal. Bathing was a communal activity back in my time. Women would offer help to scrub one another. It made things much simpler. Oh, so they were all a little, I'm doing the hand thing. You know what I mean. They were all a little fruity. Maybe it was normal in your era, but times have changed. You don't need to help me. You don't need to help me. I've been watching myself since I was a little kid. Oh, that is rather sad. But if that's the way things are done, I cannot complain too much. It does seem somewhat strange to me, though. I can understand your reasoning at all. Sometimes it's big enough for both of us, and you also need to have a bath. Would this not save time? It would be convenient, sure, but that isn't a real problem. That isn't really the problem here. I can hardly get into the bath for girl I've known for less than a day. I'm sorry, it isn't really possible. You go in the bath first, I'll follow after. But you are my lady, and I am a humble knight. Does it not stand to reason you should bathe before I? That seems only fitting. Don't worry too much. You need to wash all that blood from your shoulder. I'm fine with waiting. Well, I prefer if you would stay here so I can protect you should any trouble arise, but... I do not want to be a burden either. If you think it is best to be bathed separately, then that is what I shall do. Your wish is my command. Thank God. I was afraid Leofi would insist otherwise. I'm glad she's willing to listen to me. She wouldn't be much of a knight if she didn't, but her words make me pause. Why would you need to protect me? One can never be too careful. As your knight, it would not do if I let you get hurt. I won't get hurt. We're not in a forest anymore. Grand's house is safe. Yes, I imagine it is. It should be, at least, but... Luffy frowns, her lips drawn into a serious line. Her previous excitement over the bathtub is already forgotten. Why does she look so serious? We're out of the woods now, both literally and figuratively. We shouldn't be in any more danger. That's what I like to believe, but... Maybe the magic of the Cloak's Fen Chapel Forest is reaching further than I, or my grandma, ever dared to imagine. While Leofi luxuriates in the bath, I search for more suitable clothes she can change into. She can't spend her days in Fen Chapel attire than a coarse green garb that would surely draw attention. I can hardly let Leofi wear my clothes, I only picked enough for me, and Grand's clothes wouldn't fit, but I think Gran kept hold of some of Auntie Linda's and Anna Allison's old clothes back when they were teenagers. Gran's prone to nostalgia, and she finds it hard to part with things that remind her of her past. She even has per Georgie the parrot's disused birdcage stashed somewhere in the attic. I should be able to find something that'll fit Leofi among my aunt's unwanted cast-offs, even if the style will be 30 or 40 years out of date. Unless she suits Leofi down to a T, her entire existence is out of date. I just hope she likes ruffled blouses and high-waisted skirts. And so, half an hour later... Oh, she's adorable! Oh... Baby, she's so cute. Oh my god. Incredible. Is this really me? Leofi examines her reflection in the mirror. The clothes she currently wears came from Aunt Linda's wardrobe, and I think they suit her. Aunt Linda's fashion styles have gotten progressively weirder as time wore on, but she always dressed in black, shapeless robes. When she was my age, she was very fashion conscious and had a lot of nice clothes to pick from. From 1980s standards, that is. I know you don't look much like a knight, but it's the best I could do. My Aunt Lena didn't have any chainmail in her drawers. Oh no, it is quite alright. I know I am a knight deep within my heart. I do not always need to dress the part, though this is quite fulfilling too. I have no qualms with updating my look. I would not want to draw too much attention. Still, Luffy twirls about in front of the mirror. This fabric feels so nice and soft. It must be awfully expensive. I doubt it. They're all mass-produced, even if they're a few decades old by this point. Maybe they'd fetch a decent amount if you sold them on eBay. People like vintage things. eBay? Girl, stop bringing up stuff that you know she won't understand. It's a big shop. But you did not pay for these. Not a penny. They're Aunt Leda's old things. She's a grown woman now and doesn't wear these sort of clothes anymore. And tell your lovely aunt I said thank you. These clothes are so different to what I'm accustomed to, but that's not quite a bad thing. It's quite refreshing, really. I am seeing myself in a new light. I never knew my legs were quite this long. It is rather novel, only... Luffy tugs at the hem of her polka dot skirt. A self-conscious blush tinges her cheeks. Don't you think this is a bit too short? Not really. It's longer than mine, and it's longer than mine, and you're wearing tights. I figured it'd be easier to walk in them than Aunt Leda's bell-bottom trousers, but you can fetch a pair if you prefer. Oh no, you're the one familiar with current fashion trends, not I. So I shall trust your judgment. Really, I'm glad you took the time to find me some suitable clothes. You have proved yourself a very dear friend. Friends, are we? I thought we were Lady and her Knights, but I'll take friends over that any day of the week. I don't have all my friends back in Grimsby. Most of the girls in my class think I'm weird, and I guess I am. Perpetually gloomy and unenthusiastic, and unenthused like ER, but less cute. And I don't like making small talk, particularly about my looks. When I first started secondary school, girls were always trying to play with my hair for permission, and cooing about how cute and small I was. Get the hair part. People in school just kind of walked up and touched my hair sometimes. Like, mind your fucking manners, bitch. I glared at them and bared my fangs, and they backed off sharpishly. Now nobody really tries to speak to me, other than a few social recluses, Helena among them. It's not like I'm ganging for attention or anything, don't get me wrong, but being with Leofi is kinda nice. Perhaps if I return Leofi's eager smile with one of my own. Thanks, I'm glad I met you too, and if you really want, then sure, I'll be your friend. Babies. Alright, I think I'll save here. And I'll end stream here for today. My voice is getting very tired. I am no fucking voice actor, as I'm sure you've pieced together by now. And my voice is starting to hurt after switching between character voices over and over for the last hour and a quarter. Also, I've got like college work to do. I have to write this giant fucking essay, like over 1,000 words, on this fucking politics, and it's so boring. You guys have no idea. I'm reading this boring ass report. It's like 4,000 words. It's gonna take me forever. And it's doing like I'm just like less than a week to do it. I'm so not looking forward to it. Wish me luck, guys, and I'll see you. I'm not sure when I'm next gonna stream rather. That essay is gonna take a lot of my time. I either stream tomorrow or maybe Thursday, or maybe Wednesday. But that's all I can promise. But I'll tweet about it, and I'll put up a post in my Discord. By the way, if you're not part of those, but until then, I'll see ya. Bye.